Welcome to the Indian Film Festival of Cincinnati. I am Ratricha Paus. I'm the Executive Director of the Indian Film Festival. And with me today is Shine Ravi, the director of the movie Ratricha Paus that you just saw. And along with him is his producer, Ranganath. And to conduct the interview today is Hollywood producer Milan Chakraborty. Welcome, Milan. Welcome, Shine, and welcome, Ranganath.
Hi, hi.
Hi. I do hope that today's film gave all of you some pause for thought. Behind every successful man, they say, is a woman. But this woman's story really tore our hearts out. I want to introduce you to the man who gave life to the characters in the story of Ratricha Paus, or Night Rain, when translated into English, Mr. Shine Ravi. Shine has worked in Malayalam films, garnering a lot of experience, which he then put to use in his first venture. He has made several short films and documentaries, and like the protagonist in his film, he moved to Bombay, which he calls the city of dreams. And he did this to make his first film and find his fortune. Shine Ravi is fluent in four regional languages besides English, and this allows him to cross over to various regional movie industries. He's always had an interest in gender empowerment, speaking up for women, and exposing the double standard, which is exactly what his film does for us. He has directed various short films and documentaries before he started working on Ratricha Paus. And with him today is his producer, Mr. Ranganath. Mr. Ranganath is an engineer by trade, but then he made his debut into the film industry, creating many corporate films and videos and documentaries, and then started his own production company, Sumi Production. And then he met up with Shine Ravi, and together they produced this film that you are going to see. Um, in our sessions here, what we like to do in our conversations is like we like to peel back the layers to discover the story behind the story. And to do just that, we have with us today Hollywood producer Milan Chakrabarty of Attic Light Films. He is a producer and executive producer of films such as Assassination Nation, The Lifeguard, both played in Sundance, and My Friend Dahmer, Plus One, and more recently, The Dark and the Wicked in 2020, all of which made their shows in Tribeca at the Tribeca Festival. So, welcome, Milan. It's lovely to have you here. And big welcome again to Shine Ravi and to Mr. Ranganathan. And so now
Thank you.
I'm going to let you take it from here, and I'm going to be in the audience watching the interview. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Ante, for having this and putting this together. This is really fun for me, to interact with the industry
Yeah,
in India. And my parents
absolutely.
are from Bihar and Jharkhand, tiny villages in
Yeah.
India, and I grew up in Indiana in America. So very, very different. So first and foremost, congratulations to Ranganathan and Shine. What a beautiful and powerful, film. Some of my questions may be dumb because I don't understand how it works over there, but I feel like if I can learn, the audience can learn, right? So your introduction was so great and already kind of talked about what you all did before, whether engineering or short films. So unless she missed anything there, we can skip over that and maybe ask, what was your inspiration for the film?
I, I have to thank you all loud for choosing my film at this great festival, for giving all kind of encouragements to the film. Thank you. And we come about actually a short story I wrote years ago. That's the last 20 minutes of this film. Uh, Maharashtra had the best drought in the 2004-2005. In many parts of Maharashtra, especially Latur and Marathwada, in the villages here, the rain disappeared even from the village where it used to rain every day. Later, they believed that it would rain this year or next. The farmers took loans and bank loans to cultivate and commit suicide. In one village in Latur alone, 14 people commit suicide. In the same way, everyone was dying hanging from big trees on the farm. Every day in the village had the news of someone's death. The film starts from such a village. Actually, this is a reality. That time I was in the Mumbai, 2004, 2005. So I connect my short story to this reality. That's actually the story's background.
Yeah, that's great. I hate to skip to the end, but the way you set it up, it's such a natural question. So did you always have the ending you had in mind, or was there ever a happy ending? And sometimes you're testing different things, or did you always know this is the way it has to end?
Yeah, yeah.
Rango, you were smiling. Does that mean that was a discussion?
There were a lot of discussions around this because at this current world, the scenario now, like, a lot of us had a view that even the families of ours, Shine's family and my family and my executive producer's family, all of us, they, especially the female audience or the people who we were discussing with, the story or the concept, all of them had a view that there has to be a positive sort of an end to this movie. But
producers, that's all. We always try to find a positive end, but writers and directors always want to hold on. So especially in our Western films. So I love that discussion because we have it a lot.
Yeah, but finally, what we thought is we even thought it should be sort of an end without an end. We might go in for a version 2 of. In fact, we had named this movie Paus, and then we got it changed into Ratricha Paus. So we thought we might go in for a second part of the movie also. We can develop probably a concept where we can bring in Mansi again live in the screen, and probably the audience right now who are watching the movie are of the view that she has taken a drastic step. We might come out with a second version, part 2 of this movie where
well, she could get a bunch of guns and then take everybody out. That's the revenge thriller version.
No, sir, nothing, never.
So,
Basically, yeah, that's about the climax, and I know. If this movie is hurt you, actually, if this movie is bothered you, that is the success of the film. And she loved the rain and went to the rain. She only gave her life for the good of others. Maybe she destroyed herself, become she can't be like anymore. Like nothing like this happened to a woman, but she don't want to extend the life because whatever she gave others, it's all things is good. She is family as a mother. She is looking her family is it's beautiful house and children's are she's daughter is married and everything is fine. Why I going to extend my life? If I extend my life and go into the Salvi's life, that's also making the lot of problems. So yeah, she's decision is very correct in that particular situation. So she loves lots. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, is that a discussion you have with the actress? Like, did she ask any questions, or was she like, yes, this is, you know, I'm just curious. It's always very interesting how these decisions are made, and obviously it's the writer director's vision. That's this medium. So I was just curious.
What's it?
Did the actress did she think anything about, oh, is there any other way? You know, a lot of times the actors will have input. I think my character will, or she thought the exact same thing, because I you know it I
No.
you know, I'm a little bit familiar with Bollywood films, and I was really impressed because you almost had a more Western sensibility with some of your cuts, some of your shots. You know, there was, of course, you know, a little bit song and dance, but you had a very much a Western sensibility. Do you watch a lot of Western films, or?
Yeah, I'm watching a lot of film, Western film, Indian film,
Yeah.
and about the songs in this movie, dancing, and the first songs is that's she's recollect the memory in the situation of the first train in the Mumbai. She coming from the drought place is the village of Maharashtra is that's she's in the Mumbai there is a rain. So she's recollect the memory. That's anytime we recollect the memory, we go to the childhood. That's the reason of that song. And second, yeah, and Salvi and the Abhirami's song, it's connect to her life actually. And Salvi go to his village Goa with Abhiram with Mansi. So we create the relationship. What's the relationship between Salvi and Mansi?
Yeah,
That's
you
the
know,
two
this
songs is there.
yeah this film wouldn't work unless you had incredible cast, and you did a very good job in casting. And you know, since this is both of your, you know, first film, I'm curious, how did you find your actors,
Uh,
especially, you know, your two or three main leads?
yeah. For Mansi, Abhirami Bose, she's an FTI student that times. One of my friend is there, and that's where I meet Abhirami. And I've taken the audition in the FTI, Film Institute in Pune, Film Television Institute in Pune. I taken interview, audition in the FTA, and I feel she's comfortable for this character. And second one is a Keshu, the husband of Mansi. And I meet him casually. I meet him in the mall in Mumbai. I speak, so his appearance, his style of speak is very slowly speaking. His face is some. So I got his, and the rest of character all are most of 95% people are with newcomers. I find out the people.
Yeah, that's
And lucky for lucky I pick up from a drama. That character is actually is in the Kerala. He's a Malayali, and he's the North Indian guy playing the role of North Indian guy, and he speaks Marathi fluently, and he's do good job. He's a Rahul Nair.
Yeah, no, very incredible job with the casting. Great job. You know, another important element, and you touched on it briefly, and somebody asked a question on it. Uh, you know, with the Bollywood style music, but also the village folk style music. Uh, did you already have that music in mind? Did you have a person that found that right music for you, like a, you know, music supervisor, or was that always your intent to, you know, for the different worlds?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, it's a music director. It's a Prakash Alex, and mm, I know he's from Kerala. We'll discuss about the story and narrate all story. And I just asked to him, uh, can you make this kind of music in this film? I give the some preference. It's a old Malayalam films preference. I love that director. Is a Palkmarajan, one of the Malayalam director. Is a He's very inspiration for me. He's how he's connect the rain in movie. I'm very very big fan of him. That's why I have an idea to which kind of music I want to use in this film, my film. So I give the reference to the Prakash Alex, is music director. He delivered the same way. I'm very happy that but no idea, yeah, audience, how's audience feel about that music background score.
Yeah,
But
he
that
did. He did a
I
great job. I always like asking questions. Since this is your first time directing, but you have a lot of experience on a feature. What was your biggest surprise or challenge that maybe you weren't expecting? And each of you answer this question. But I always like knowing, from the producer's perspective too. But what was the thing that most surprised you about this experience of directing your first feature?
yeah, it's my first surprise, and I shoot that drought village scene. That's the first schedule. I'm going to start the shoot. I'll plan the shoot will start in the evening 6 o'clock. But I'll start the shoot in midnight. It's a 12:30. The all are, yeah, fresh peoples. They don't have any experience for lighting everything, and that time I can't explain about that times. That's a big surprise. I have a lot of, yeah, short film and documentary, but that's a different thing, sir. It's a SLR camera. It's no crew is there, and no light setup, lights boys. But feature film is a totally different style, and that's a first surprise for me. I'm going to a filmmaker. I'm going to make my film Ratricha Paus. That's very surprise for me, and very I was very excited that times. And again, I'm in the same place, not same place. It's a Satara. It's a different location, and I'm going to shoot for the climax. That times, actually after I call, cut. Scene is done. Yeah, time of the pickup. I'm literally cry that times.
Oh, and Renga, what was your biggest, what surprised you when you're making, you can have experience, but it's different when it's a feature film and all these people expect you to do all these things. What was your biggest surprise about the experience?
Experience to me had been a hopeful. It was like the entire because I am basically from sort of corporate background, and I still work for a corporate world. And basically, we are. I'm more oriented towards a 9 to 5 job. Go to the job morning and mahina ho gaya. After the end of the month, you just forget about whatever is happening and then go on. It's everyday sort of a scheduled sort of a task. When Shine and the other people who are friends of ours, when we decided we'll go ahead with this project, like initially 1 or 2 months, in fact, Shine was ready with the entire project, and that was a bit easy for us. And the first schedule was in a rural market. So they, in fact, the entire team, they just went and camped there and they started shooting out there. But once things got into the project mode, around after some around 1 week or 10 days, there are a lot of challenges which came up. Everything was Greek and Latin to me. Things which are associated with the movie, everything about the cameras and the schedules and how cast has to be fit into this entire schedule, and the way Shine was slogging himself out, and literally he was in every frame. Like, behind the scenes, if we had shot a lot of these things, and Shine was in and out with each and every person who was there. He was actually living each and every character, and he was putting his soul out. And we had also a young team of three people who were fresh from the college, who were also part of this project, and they had a lot of energy in them. And as Shine was saying, we had done the casting in such a way, like, we were literally waiting for Abhirami, like, for Mansi's role. We almost waited for around a couple of months, almost around 50 days. We did a lot of casting, and finally we ended up with Abhirami. And thanks to Mr. Isaac Newton, who was a part of Film Institute of Pune. And we were also blessed to have a lot of seniors who were guiding us through all these things. Otherwise, it was like, I won't say it is a nightmare. It was a completely different challenge for me. Like, it was
Well, producing is controlled chaos. It's always going to be chaos. How you control it is how many. I'm curious, how many days does it take to shoot a movie like this for you?
The 35 days, totally
35
days of shoots, and different three schedule.
And how many people are on the crew?
35 people.
Okay. I heard sometimes, like, if there's 30 people on a US production, there's 90 people. For every people, there's 3 people. You never know who's going to show up. Is that true? And then how do movies, independent film, we know Bollywood and that kind of stuff, but how does an independent film get put together? You have to find the money and that kind of stuff over there. And then what happens for distribution, and what are your goals there?
Actually, yeah, about the independent film, it's very difficult task for the independent films. It's not space for the independent films in India. It's all independent filmmakers. They agree with these things. Very difficult for distributor and theater, everything, sir.
Yeah, but that's why film festivals like this are so important to allow us to see films and as we're learning, it's a very global industry. Netflix is growing in India, and they want to tell stories for the world and global story. The farmer's plight in India is actually similar to the farmer's plight in Iowa in America. You're getting people that commit suicide because of how hard it is. So they're universal stories, and that's what I think is very interesting. Now it seems so fresh to someone like me, because I'm not used to seeing people like me in films over here.
Yeah. Actually, that's right. Yeah, farmer's life and the universal story. But I don't have any idea about when I wrote this is screenplay. Is it a universal story? I'm very, very connected with the story. I'm very connected with the character. That's important to me. I was live in 2 years with this story and this character. And very difficult time that, and very enjoy that times.
And how is when did you shoot this movie?
We'll start first schedule in May, because it's a summer. I want to shoot it's a particular village in a drought area. We choose Satara in Maharashtra because the stories is actually village. We go to the Latur for shoot, but the scenario is totally different. It's a drought place. There are not rain for 3-4 years. There are not rain, but it's everywhere is availability of the water right now, because it's one of the NGO is a Pani Foundation. So they're doing very good job is there. So everywhere is wherever I'm looking is a greenery is there. Drought place, I can't do anything there. So I come to Satara and I find out that particular location in a small hill. There no yeah, green, nothing is there. And actually stories in village, most of scene is in night because Mansi narrate her flash story to Salvi. So she's like narrate like that. That night my husband committed suicide, then friend, like that. And I don't want to shoot any village scenes. Actually, honestly, that dot time, yeah, 2004, 2005, I remember that time water was taken by train from Mumbai to Latur. It's a Actually, I wanted to start the movie from that one scene, but the budget did not allow it. Yeah, train, water. That's why. I,
That's smart. I'm looking at some of the questions on the chat, and I like this question. Vijaya asked, one observation about the brothel was that all the ladies seemed to have great mannerisms and not really using filthy language like we see in some other Indian movies that show this environment. So was this deliberate? And did, uh, did you do research?
yes. I research. When I wrote this particular scene, brothel scene, uh, uh, every day actually, I go into Grand Road in Mumbai. It's a Dreamland Theatre is there. I already wrote that same place, same name. It's a Dreamland Theatre, Dreamland building. I go to there and I'm going to upstairs. Is a brothel is there. I'm walk in that corridor and my camera is on in the voice record mode. Yeah, mobile camera. That style of the talking, what kind of style they're talking, that's I recorded. And 2-3 hours I spent there, and someone asked, hey, why are you here? Go inside. That time I come out, and next day, and 4 after 3-4 days, one lady's come, were you coming every day here? She's asking. So I actually research in brothel, and is one of my friend house. Yeah, actually, is a one school and house is a that place I use for the brothel. I'll make brothel. That's not a real brothel. It's a one. It's a old school and home. It's a connected building that I use the brothel, and I'll shoot there.
Yeah, no, it's funny. There was a big American English show that just came out this summer called Hollywood, and their brothel was out of a mechanic's place called Dreamland. And
Yes.
and then I saw it in your movie. I was like, oh, there must be
Yeah.
something about the name. Vijay asked another great question because I was wondering the same thing. You talked a little bit about the ending. Can you explain why Mansi didn't choose life with Salvi, and they were planning to go away to Goa where no one would know her past. This is probably in the conversations about how it should end, but why doesn't the life with Chef work for her?
No, sir. When she's decided to come to village, that time she said, I just want to go there. That time Salvi tell, I'll I, I'll be with you. That time she tell, no, I don't want any company for this journey, because I just want to complete whatever in my mind. That's I want to end that scene. And she have ideas. She have plan to go back to Mumbai and start new life. And definitely, and she came the village and she came the house and she met her husband. He's totally changed. Okay, your house is changed, and it's also village is also is a all things have changed, and yeah, that particular moment is a she said the sound of her daughter, and uh, she forget all things, and that's she's give the ornaments money to him, and the next moment she realized it. And more time if I stand here more time, if I speak anything, she should ask, she will ask, who is the who is that's why she leave from that place, and that best journey she's yeah, returned to Mumbai, that best journey, she realized that everything is fine. But in my life, it's it's my it's a village is okay. My family is okay. As a mother, my children's are is a son is complete the education. He's got the job. My daughter is she's married and pregnant. Okay, all are happy in life. I'm going to Mumbai and start new life with Salvi. That's make lot of problems with Salvi's life. Now he's okay with me, but tomorrow I am a prostitute. She's realized that things, and unnecessarily she don't want to create that kind of scene in anyone's life. She want, okay, I am happy in this moment. Totally peace. Is a rains are there. She loves the rains. That times is a bus is that place in the one dam in she's village, and that's and she's love the rain and she went to the rain, and
But
that's
was all the rain real, or did you create the rain?
it's a real, sir. That's blessing actually. We don't have a big budget for the rain,
Yeah,
create the rain, that kind
I've
of.
had to create rain, and it is very
Yeah,
expensive.
no,
But
sir. We
sometimes you
start,
change your schedule to match when the
no.
rain's coming, and it has to be the right rain, because if the rain isn't big enough, you can't
Uh,
see it on camera. So
uh,
it's very hard to capture rain. So I was like, this is probably natural rain, like monsoon
Natural
rain.
rain, sir.
Yeah.
It's a natural rain. We start the shoot that day. Is for the climax shoot in that dam. It's a morning 7 o'clock, sir. And we'll ready for all things and we wait for the rain, and okay, rain will come, we shoot, and we have one drone. We hire the drone, but it's a rain. He's tell, no, I can use the drone because it's a rain. Well, please sir, we need the rain.
Yeah.
Please, well, no. So we avoid the all drone shot. We just use single shot. We'll pay him to $10,000 for shoot, but we can't use any shot because he's not ready to use the drone in the rain. But we need to rain that particular day. But
Yeah.
it's a good blessing. Is all shots. I can get the rain. Is a that particular day.
Yeah, and Renga, were there any other like funny behind the story? I think these film festivals are always very fun because most of the times when you watch a film, you don't have the opportunity to ask questions and learn about the making of the film. So anytime we can, I think people like hearing about the process. So like waiting for rain. Is there any other funny behind the scenes stories, Ranga?
Lo- lots of funny memories are there, like most of the time, as I told you, I'm a part of a corporate this thing, so I used to join them during the weekends whenever they used to shoot at Mumbai, and during other places also, for the song sequence. In fact, the characters who are there in that song are my daughters and the daughter and son of the executive producer Pratishtas. daughter and son. So we just made it as a family picnic, we went there and the kids.
That's independent film. That's independent film.
Yeah. So then Shine was very, he was like, he was breaking his head because ek to he's having a lot of people who are doing everything for the first time. And for me, especially because he has to take money out of me and he has to explain it to me in such a way that I am not getting offended also. And one particular incident I remember, which was so funny because after that incident, we were making fun of it a long time, like the cost was obviously getting over, whatever was budgeted due to various reasons, for the good reasons, in fact. But they were trying to explain to me each and every aspect of the movie. Why? Because the cost is increasing. And this discussion was happening at my executive producer's place, Pratishtha's place, where we were having, a lot of heated discussions. Like Divya was our production manager, and they were trying to explain me what a focus puller is about. I was not knowing anything about the movie, this thing and all. So the focus puller was going to cost us an additional a lakh of rupees per day, or something around like that way. So they were trying to me, and they were trying to explain me like what is the importance of a focus puller. So I thought it is a focus puller is an equipment, like sort of. I wasn't knowing that it is a person whom they call as a focus puller, who has to be a part of the camera, this thing, so that the scene gets a proper 360-degree arrangement and all those things. And it was not getting into my engineering brain. I was thinking in an engineering way, and these guys are saying, no sir, like focus puller is meant for this. And they really had a tough time with me explaining me what a focus puller is and why it is important for the scene. And we had a lot of moments, while the shoot also, there were one song, third song, in fact, when we were shooting, that was again my friend's place where we were shooting. It's a farmhouse near Karjar. So there also we had a lot of fun moments, every scene was we were cut it into different frames, and because cost was primarily in our mind, like to try to reduce the cost to keep it as simple as possible. And the things which were used in the movie, most of the things, like from the sarees, right from the display things, art director, whatever he wanted, we picked it up from most of the houses of our friends. We used to just go and see and grab it out, array de do, we'll use the song and then give it back to you.
Yeah, yeah, that's how it's done. I'm a former accountant. I was a chartered accountant until I was 29 years old, and then switched careers to independent. I'm 42 now, but so especially when I first started, and even still, I think with the accountant's brain first. And my dad was an engineer, so if we were to shoot a film, we would probably be done shooting in like 4 days. The movie wouldn't be any good, but it would be very efficient. And that's why, film is the intersection of the art and then the commerce, the business, What other stories, do you want to, both of you, do you want to tell? Now you have this film done. What, it doesn't have to be a continuation of this, but that can be an answer. But other stories that you want to tell, I and I'm sure other people would be interested to know.
We do have a couple of stories. In fact, Shine has got his own stories. In fact, as I told you, when we were discussing this movie, myself and Pratishtha, we were having a couple of other movies, stories with us. And in different genre, we were having a couple of stories. But since Shine was so enthusiastic and he was so passionate about the story, so we just selected, we just went for this. We'll start off with this, but we do have a couple of other stories with us. And similarly, Shine also has got a couple of stories with him. And in fact, he is already working about it, the stories. And probably, we're not sure yet, because the current pandemic is also holding us back a bit. But we'll definitely start off pretty soon with the next project. Shine also can chip in
Yeah.
Yeah. About Ratricha Paus, the story. Yeah, I want to make feature film. While still in high school, I dreamed of becoming a filmmaker. but it took many years. I have not studied film from any institute. I have never been an assistant to anyone. I have learned about cinema by watching movies, and a lot of people are is asking why Marathi. You going to feature film, first feature film. You are from Kerala. You are Malayali. Your first feature film. I go to Marathi. Actually, it's my love and gratitude. My first film speaks Marathi as a thank you for all the help Maharashtra has given me. Then this story also smells like the soil. It smells like Mumbai, where I have been living for 20 years. And next, about next, okay, I'm I have a story. I have a plan too. That that's also, yeah, about the human trafficking. And let's see.
Yeah. You know, one thing about these kind of film festivals, it gives an opportunity to people to interact with filmmakers. Uh, what can people that are listening and watching and will watch this in the future? What can they do to help filmmakers like you? Whether it's buying films, how what do you feel could be done better or more by people? Uh, to help, as you talked about how hard independent film is, and we deal with the same issues. Is there anything you wish the community was better, or uh, I would be curious.
Actually, I have no idea about this. Actually, real. Right now is a lot of opportunities, and uh, while in this uh, present situation is a pandemics, a lot of opportunity for OTT platform, and people people want to watch the real story, the different kind of story, not is a Bollywood masala. Actually, people's to actually is a enough this kind of movie. It's a Bollywood. It's a song, item dance. Wow. People really want to watch. It's a good movie, good story. And they don't want to kind of six-pack body. And what again and again making kind of this film in India, unfortunately. Film is not like that. That's a business product. I'm not agree with that's a movie. I love to watch kind of movie. Assamese, Bengalis, and it's a lot of good movies coming. It's also Marathi, in Marathi, Malayalam. It's a 3-4 language. It's making good movies. Independent filmmakers is there, but I have no idea. It's a Hindi, Bollywood. It's not kind of that movies. Very, 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 very small amount of the people are working. It's a really working for good movies. That's why
How
independent movies. Yeah.
how do people find independent movies in India? Like, what it is one of the OTT platforms dedicated to it? Where do you watch most of where do you find most of these films that you watch and enjoy that aren't, we struggle with it too, because obviously the theaters get all the big superheroes, right? Movies. So it's like, how do people find those types of non big Bollywood movies in India? Like, where do you watch most of your movies?
Yeah, sir. And especially about Ratricha Paus, independent film. But this film demand to actually theater release, sir, because the sounds, background score, and it's a style of the making, and particularly for the theater release. Actually, we need to theater for, and I want to watch the people in people. It's a no very common people. In India, a lot of people has no idea what's a OTT, what's a Amazon Prime, what's a Netflix. They have the mobile, but they don't have any membership. They don't have an account in the Netflix and anything. I want to watch that kind of people. My movie. It's a story of like that movie. So
Renga, any thoughts?
Yeah, I would like to go with Ravi, but what Shine is saying is right. Like, he, when we made this movie also, like, like in India, normally people say that we make movies for the classes and a movie for the masses. Like, this movie may not be like, striking chord with each and every, like, segment of the market available for the viewership. But probably, like, we also thought when we were making the movie also, like, for about a year or so, we'll just send it to all the festivals. And we wanted to, like, just to know about what sort of artistic outcome we can come out with. Like, that was our basic aim. Like, a lot of thoughts, a lot of discussions, and we wanted to, myself and Pratishtha also, we had discussed a lot about it, like when we were going through this process, the entire project. And that time also we thought like we'll go for theaters, as the Shine is saying, because we have spent a lot of time and energy in coming out with all technical aspects. Like, after the post production, like, it was like so much of energy was spent on that, and just to make this entire come out with this entire piece of art. And we thought like, this may not be like a good idea to come out with releases at multiplexes and all. Like, we'll go for festivals, and that's what we thought. And then probably we'll go in for different segments within Maharashtra, because it's a we are confined right now. Like, we're not thinking about dubbing and other things. So the natural language of Maharashtra. So we wanted to release in of various sectors, like, the B and C class of segment, we call it, like, in Maharashtra. So that is like they were our, sort of a target audience in our mind. But I'm sure that this movie will be received well by even people in the cities also, because it has got a different treatment entirely to it. Like, the entire, right from the concept to the technical things. So we're just hoping for the best, and we are already in discussions with a lot of people, and people out here also are liking the movie, like, whom are we have shown. So we're just hoping, like, we'll be getting in touch with some good producers, like, or partners who can join with us, and then probably release it out, like, when the theaters are becoming a, like, sort of current situation, it's going to be difficult, like probably at least for the next couple of months. And
Yeah.
OTTs are definitely a good option, and we are also in discussions with some OTT platforms. So we'll go for it. Like, we are hopeful. Like, we'll get strike a good deal. Like,
One thing I believe, like, all this industry, we're all together, right? And we all have to help each other. So I always like to know, I just did one of these with other South Asian filmmakers in America last week. So I asked them the question, and I'll ask you the question: what are some other Indian or South Asian independent filmmakers that you're excited about in their movies, so other people can find them too, and hopefully one day they also talk about you? You see how you all help each other. So, like I mentioned, Ratricha Paus, she has a movie called Cargo, uh, and this festival has that movie Muton, that which I thought was a very strong, film, and another film, Mega Ramaswamy, What Are the Odds, that I saw recently that I thought was very good. What are some other independent filmmakers that you're excited about that maybe the audience should check out?
actually, for independent filmmakers in India, uh, they face a lot of problems. I already told you.
Yeah.
And about the movie Coral Woman, okay, it's a very good movie. And Muton, about the Muton, Gidu Mohandas and Rajiv Ravi and producer Anurag Kashyap, they are the mainstream people in Indian cinema.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
not independent film. That Muton is not independent film.
Oh,
It's
good,
a
good point. I actually met Anurag Kashyap at a theater in LA, and he was kind of surprised that someone would recognize him in a theater in LA. I was like, "Are you who I think you are?" He was like, "Yeah," and we talked for a while, but I couldn't believe it. Just at the regular, one of my local theaters. He was in LA for a while last year. Okay, but I understand what you're saying. So what are some filmmakers that you're excited about?
Oh, what some filmmakers are excited. So, in some Tamil films, I'm very excited that films. And right now, and some one movie Amis. I excited that movies. It's an independent filmmaker. It's a Amis, Assamese movies. A kind of lot of movies is we watch and we excited and we can we can understand the situation of that movies, and kind of lot of movies in India and abroad, foreign movies. So,
Renga, what some filmmakers you're excited about?
Actually, being a part of southern part of India, myself and Shine, we have a lot of shift towards South India. We always feel that independent filmmakers of Tamil and Malayalam industries, they are far ahead of other parts of India. And after coming down and being here in Maharashtra, I've been in touch with a lot of people who are making movies on their individual capacity right here in Maharashtra also. But prominent names it's a bit difficult for them also to market their products. So as Sain has said, South, we have a lot of people who have come up from nowhere, they just come up with a thought and a concept and then develop in such a way that it's getting marketed. And that is how we feel that in the industry down south, even Telugu also, these three languages in south, southern part of India, they have a big market, and people are encouraged there also because making different types of movies and experimenting different things and coming out and there is people love such movies down south. And even here also, the industry out here, the Hindi film industry also is changing a lot, and a lot of young filmmakers who have come during the past 3-4 years, we go to film festivals here in Mumbai and in and around Mumbai also, and we find a lot of young enthusiastic filmmakers who are aspiring to become they want to be recognized, that's all. They don't want to get into the monetary thing also.
Yeah, that leads me, it may be my last question unless we have some for the audience. You've now made your first film, and this question will be for both of you. What's one piece of advice you would give to another filmmaker that wants to make their first film?
sorry, sir.
Don't think twice.
Don't think twice and just do it. That's good. Yeah. And Shine, one piece of advice for writing and directing your first film.
Yeah. Actually, that's right. My first film, I am not confused about all things in my first films, and about the character. I just travel with some of character. Ramgida Parve, who is the Ramgida Parve? Is a writer. Ramgida Parve is the only one who understands Mansi, and Parve called her Mansi. He says that the flower is the meaning of Mansi. So he's the writer. Yeah, I just want to understand what kind of people, how speak like that, what's the thought. That's the same things in these movies. I And especially in Salvi may the only Salvi may be the only woman in the Salvi's life, who is not his wife. That's why he blindly love Mansi, and so he doesn't matter to him who she is. So, in I'm thinking about the background of, I'm standing in my movie's background. So I just wanted to say, what you say about this all things is okay. I think.
Okay, great. Auntie, are you still
Yeah,
there?
I'm here. I'm listening. You guys are doing an amazing job.
I know I'm supposed to remind the audience to be at the entertainment panel at 12:30 Sunday, and followed by the closing film My Got at 8 p.m. Um, I know I have to say that. Is there anything else you'd like
Well,
to?
we do have a time change, so I hope people will know that we do have our time is changing tonight. So make sure that you are there on time.
Yeah, and I want to make sure, I say again, congratulations to you as filmmakers, and congratulations to you as running a festival in all this. It's so important we keep telling our stories, and in all this, hopefully all of you and your families are safe. I think the two countries that are dealing with this the worst are America and India.
And for different reasons, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was lovely, Milan. Thank you so much for, spending time with us. I know how difficult it is. You're with your family in Florida, and you took time out to be with our filmmakers. It means so much to the festival. It means so much to our filmmakers as well, because as you know, I mean, everything we do, we're doing for our filmmakers, and hopefully giving them a platform to be heard, to get their stories told, and also having the audience enjoy it. And so I do invite the filmmakers as well to come in tomorrow at um, I think it's 10 p.m. IST, and join in on the discussion as well. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you, Milan. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ranga. Thank you, Mr. Shine. And as we go off the air, as Jay takes us off the air, I'd love to just chat and say bye if that's okay.
Thank you, Rati. Thank you, Milan.
Thank you.
तुला काही बोलायचं होतं ना?
तू माझ्यासोबत का येत नाहीस राहायला?
ही माझी गोष्ट आहे.
काय? पड़ोसी में ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है ना तुझे?